You might have heard the brain being compared to a computer, but how accurate is this? At first glance, they appear to have many similarities. The graphics card could be seen to be similar to the visual cortex, where visual information is processed by the brain. Similarly, the sound card might be seen as the auditory cortex, where we process auditory information in the brain. The hard drive where memory is stored might be the hippocampus. This is a key memory area. It's in the temporal lobe. The processor, or CPU, could be the prefrontal cortex, which is associated with planning, thinking and problem solving. We might also put RAM into the prefrontal cortex, as it could be seen as similar to our short-term or working memory. We might see the sensory cortex as a mouse or a keyboard, which collect input information from the outside world. And finally, the motor cortex, which coordinates our movements, might possibly be seen as similar to a monitor or speakers, the way in which a computer outputs to the world. So how accurate is this comparison? If humans and computers really do work the same, then we might expect similar abilities. But this really isn't the case. So here we have Oscar, he's 6 years old, and here we have a computer, and I've got 2 questions to ask them both. First question, what is 456 times 8,941?
I've got no idea.
Well, that's okay, because most adults wouldn't know the answer either. And the question's so simple for a computer that even a pocket calculator could do it. Okay, second question. What number is shown here?
53.
Correct. Now, most computers wouldn't know the answer to this. In fact, these types of puzzles, called captchas, have been specifically designed to stop computers. So how do we account for this dramatic difference in what humans and computers can do? It turns out that brains and computers are actually quite different in terms of how they function, with memory being a good example of this. Computers work by collecting and storing information in units, much like you would store books on a bookshelf. When they want to access data, they search through millions of files to find it. They either have the information or they don't. Brains, on the other hand, store memories in a very different way. Rather than each memory being held in a single storage container, they are represented by a network of neural activations across the brain. A banana, for example, might activate yellow, fruit, a certain smell, and a taste sensation. The more times the memory is activated, the stronger the specific pattern of activation becomes, and the stronger the memory. With billions of neurons and endless combinations of activation possible, the storage possibilities are enormous. We also know that thinking of the brain in terms of specific regions, like computer components, is not very accurate. In reality, the brain is one organ and functions are not neatly divided into regions. The hippocampus, for example, is not the only part of the brain responsible for memory, and most other regions do several different jobs. So why can't computers work out what this says? Well, the computer hasn't seen the number 53 written in this particular way before, so it can't fit it into one of its neat boxes. Oscar, on the other hand, was not relying on a single representation of the number 53, so when he saw the numbers, it activated memories in all different contexts, fonts and colours. He may never have seen the number 53 in this precise way before, but there's enough activation in the brain to tell him that it said 53 nonetheless. Humans are very good at generalising. They can get the gist of something, even when what they're looking at is new. This is not something that computers have been very good at. Well, up until now. Because the human brain is so successful, computer scientists have tried to copy the way it works. Artificial neural networks, inspired by those found in the brain, have been used to improve the performance of computers in areas such as image recognition, precisely the area captchas exploit to stop computers now. By copying the way the brain works, fooling computers might not be so easy in the future.